So what's going on the market this week, you know? I see too much FOMO on Twitter and too much FUD at the local bottom, you know. Too much FUD here, too much FOMO here, you know. When we are back in the zone where it's like where I'm selling, you know, slightly BTC, you know. So for Bitcoin, I think super simple. Until like we have like some big macro news or like a breakout below 110, I think is buy zone. Above 120 sell zone. So you can sell only what you buy below 110, you know, 110, and just you know buy back below that zone, you know, and hold all your the rest of your Bitcoin back, you know. That's what I'm doing personally, you know. So of course, everything I'm saying is not a financial advice. Do your own research, just thinking out loud, you know, trying to give you some ideas, you know, and testing some new kind of like content, you know. So it's more like a charting video, you know. We're gonna go into like all the main crypto I'm following these days for you to have an idea of like where I'm selling, where I'm buying, and how aggressively I'm going, you know. So same for Ethereum, you know, seller about 4,600. I almost jumped in back, you know. I was like, okay, if we have another crash and go below 3,600, I would have probably taken a bag here just to play a small bounce, you know. And we had like this crazy bounce, super strong. So very interesting, you know. I feel in crypto, one big alpha is like the order flow is changing, you know. We see less gamblers, a bit more like spot traction. Perhaps the market is getting more mature. But on those moves, you know, on how the fundings are moving, I feel there is something different. We see it, you know, on Solana, fundings are super low, like on Binance, Bybit, OKX, which is a very good sign, very, very good sign. And yeah, so that's something very important. So yeah, if not a real buyer for now, some guys are like mentioning that it will go. Some of my very well friends, you know, they're waiting like above like 5,500 before selling. I think we can have a push there, you know. We just need few news, few guys, few big institutions jumping in, and I think it can push like an extra 20-30%, you know. So that's why perhaps I've been selling my ETH too fast, but that's just my point, my view of the market, you know. For Solana, very simple. I've put the green box, red box, you know, like I like to do it. Basically in the green box, I'm adding a bit of Solana, you know, slowly to 100, 180, and I'm selling the Solana I've purchased in that zone, you know, in the red zone, you know, slightly selling above $230. I'm probably too bullish Solana. I have many guys telling me, yeah, Julian, you're too bullish Solana. Okay, perhaps. I have a bias, but I don't want to sell too early, you know. I don't want to cut my trade too early on Solana. But we had a good bounce, so yeah, always interesting to secure a bit of cash, depending on like how aggressive you want to play out, you know. You know, people ask me like, are we in a bull market? When will bull market start? When bull market starts, it will be too late to jump into crypto, you know. That's always the thing you have to keep in mind. That's why you need to train again and again when the market is not like super bullish, because when the market becomes bullish, you are in the market and then you have all the skills to basically make it. So that's something very important, very important to keep in mind. So let's discuss perhaps about, so that's my view about Solana. I don't want to sell too early. So perhaps let's discuss another coin. Let me check. Sui. Yeah, I had a lot of questions on Sui, you know. I think it's been pretty calm on Sui in the last few weeks and months in terms of news, you know. I was at Token 14 in Singapore, and I don't know, the mind share on Sui is not that big. I think it's just kind of like consolidating like many majors, where it's just like doing nothing since 6 months now. You know, kind of like this is kind of like consolidation pattern, where like I feel you have a bit of inflation and you have like some strong hands accumulating, generating a bit that pattern. And I think it will basically depend on the market of like if BTC pump to have Sui following or not, but I don't see Sui really overperforming here, to be honest. Another question I had is about Rejoins. So actually that's a coin I'm monitoring way more and more these days. Kind of like have the same pattern as like Sui. You know, these are like strong consolidation pattern, to be honest. So we should not fade it. Not a big fan of this pattern, you know. So on my side, I'm playing a bit more conservative, you know, on Rejoins. But yeah, Rejoins, that's a project I'm really doing research on these days, trying to understand what are revenue they are making, what are the, you know, like the potential growth play, because, you know, I think base and alpha is like a base season is coming, and Rejoins will definitely benefit that the fact that there is a base season coming. So yeah, that's something interesting I think to keep in mind. Then which I had a lot of questions on. Oh yeah, cake moving, but that's not the question I had the most like ask on. Yeah, BTCD doing a bounce, honestly surprising on BTCD side, you know, very interesting, very interesting. We didn't have like a dump for long enough, you know, but still on that dump, you know, many icons got back some flows. We have been able to make some money, so that's cool. But yeah, definitely looking strong, you know, the Bitcoin dominance, you know. So perhaps we have a bounce towards 62%. To then later on, I think in Q4 we can have some macro events, small all season. So that's the thing I'm really working on these days is like making sure I capture most of the alt season that can come later on Q4, you know. We have a bunch of things in terms of like probability, you know. Q4 is always a good quarter for crypto. We're going to have a lot of volatility, a lot of news, a lot of macro news that should be in favor of crypto. So we'll see. But interesting one. I have a new challenge that is coming up. Not fixed yet, right? But my goal is to find 10 meme coins and have a VC approach to it, you know. So during Singapore, 2014 in Singapore, I've met a friend, you know, that did few millions of dollars, you know, on SPX 6900. So of course, everything I'm saying is not financial advice, right? Just thinking out loud, sharing like how I see the markets, what I'm doing, sharing a bit of stuff. Of course, I'm sharing everything in trenches. Link in the description, you know, it's small alpha group to chill there, and like we basically being all together in the trenches and trying to make it, you know, reach 4K followers organically, super cool. Thanks for all of you who are like engaging, liking, I don't know, sharing to your friends or joining, you know. But basically, yeah, I've met a friend. First time I've met him, you know, that's funny. You know, we've been chatting like for, I think, I don't know, 8 months. First time I've met him and he did like few millions of dollars on SPX. Basically, he did like 200x. He entered like summer 2024, below like $10 million. And he basically, did like a 200x. So yeah, very, 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 very big win on his side. And I discussed with him, you know, and I said like, so what was your thesis, you know? What was your way of thinking? And basically the way he pitched me, what he did. So of course, people will say he's been lucky, whatsoever. The thing is like, has he been lucky or not? That's the thing I'm trying to figure out. And so basically I'm coming up with a challenge where I will take like 10K and try to find 10 meme coins and put like that in every meme coin, you know, and play like a VC play of like I buy and then I wait for like a big pump, you know, before selling. Really try to select those meme coins and try to predict, you know, the ones who will pump, but like really long-term play, you know, because I think the main thing for SPX is like many guys who really made it big had the conviction in SPX because it was a good coin and so on, and they really waited for quite some time, you know. Some guys like aped in like October and it paid out like 1 year, 2 years after, you know, which is insane. And so that's why sometimes you have to have some conviction and like, you know, hodl a bit, like stop rotating, stop being like, oh, it's not performing since like 2 months, 2 weeks, I'm rotating to another coin and everything, you know. And you always are on the latest hot thing on like crypto Twitter, which is not the best thing, and like you always run behind the clock, you know, kind of. And so that's the thing you need to avoid to do, you know. Same, you know, definitely not buying punk strategy here at 200 million FDV. Will it go higher? Super hard to say, but like the charts looks like it's going like nuts, you know. And you know, like liquidity is pretty low. It's only on chain. And also like, yeah, I don't know, people like start to like not FUD, but like be like show some critics, you know, on this kind of like playbook, I would say. But interesting one, you know, to monitor on like on some NFT collections. You know, if you really like NFT collections, could be interesting to buy the NFT, to play the pump of the strategy, or like to figure out the token early on. But definitely super interesting, you know, super interesting. And in terms of news, you know, we had IF here that did the DAT. So check out one of my latest video where I'm explaining basically the playbook, what it means for few more like upcoming other crypto, how can you make money off that and everything. So these are the super interesting things to check and to monitor, you know. I here digital asset treasury with $300+ million of buy pressure. So really try to DIR, do your own research, go in depth to understand how is it working. I did a video about it, check my YouTube channel, right? Yeah, feel free to join trenches also. And no, I think I've discussed about most of the things I wanted to discuss about. Feel free to drop any ticker in the description for me to add in the upcoming like video where I do like a market update, where I give you like basically my opinion on like where I'm buying, where I'm selling, you know, for your coins. So yeah, I had some question about pump. I did a small trade on pump spot, bought here, sold here and here. Now I'm fully out. Will pump like overperform and like break that zone? And like, I don't know, I feel there is like a big probability, but you know, I rather like wait and like miss opportunities rather than entering an opportunity where I don't feel like it's the good trade, and then like you overthink it. You have a bad feeling of it, you know, then it goes not the good way, and then you can panic and so on, you know. So I would rather like wait like a very good risk reward, you know. But like, yeah, did a small trade, very cool one. I think it's been the biggest trade of that of my week, and waiting for see if we can have some consolidation or the price going lower. So yeah, feel free to drop any ticker for the next video. Hope you enjoy this kind of like content. If you want me to go deeper in like, I don't know, funding rates, order flow, or any other topic, feel free to drop in the description, and happy to do so. And of course, I'm sharing very little alpha here, you know. Most of the alpha are in trenches. If you also have alpha, join trenches, because we are looking also for alpha people, you know, thinking out loud on anything. And yeah, cheers, that was your quote. Take care.